Barbell rows or Yates rows? Which one should you do? The answer is you should do both because they are two different movements. Even though they're very, very similar and technically they're barbell rows, they are very different movements. And I'm going to explain why they're different movements and when you should use each of them, when and for what purpose. So we'll start with the old school movement barbell rows. When I talk about barbell rows, I'm talking about doing barbell rows with your back at 90 degrees and being flat back like they did back in the golden era of bodybuilding. That is the best way to do a barbell row, point blank. Now, with barbell rows, you always want to make sure you're using proper technique. You want to exclude your ego, leave your ego at the door, and focus just on remaining at that 90-degree angle. And the reason for this is because it's going to increase your lower back strength. That is the purpose of a barbell row, in addition to the other things that I'm going to talk about. But you want to make sure that when you do a barbell row, your lower back and your form is crisp and locked in place. Now, when you do a barbell row at a 90-degree angle, you want to make sure you keep your hands wider. Your hands closer in at a 90-degree angle, you're going to be jamming the bar up and you're going to be pulling more toward your midsection. We don't want that. We want to be hands wider and you want to pull more toward your upper sternum or right below your chest, right to like the top of your abs. That's basically the ideal positioning to be pulling in. With your hands wider, we're going to be focusing more on the upper back thickness when using barbell rows. So that's mainly what we're aiming to look for. We're going to increase that overall upper back thickness, and we're also going to increase your lower back strength. Lower back strength is obviously very, very important for a lot of different things. If you have an active job, having a strong lower back is going to keep you strong long term. If you don't have an active job, keeping your lower back strong is going to prevent having a bad back in the future. So barbell rows are great for upper back thickness and lower back strength, and I would say good overall, upper back and just back strength. That's the purpose of them. They're a great movement for that. Now, let's talk about Yates rows. So Yates rows are another great movement. They're basically done at a 60-degree angle, and you're pulling the bar up your thighs, and you're pulling more toward your lower abs or right below your belly button while squeezing the back nice and tight. So Yates rows are very good, but they're very different than barbell rows, and they're going to work a completely different area of your back. Your hands are also going to be closer in. I would say that your hands should be right outside your body when we do this movement. A Yates row, your hands are closer in, right outside the body. And when you do this, we're focusing more, and this is more of a lat-based movement. It's less of an upper back movement where you're going to be working the middle, your rhomboids, your middle traps, your lower traps, and just that overall upper back thickness. But with this, with your hands in closer, we're going to be focusing more on making it a lat-based movement. You're going to focus when you do this on pulling up the thigh, and you're going to pretend you have an orange in between your shoulder blades, and you're just going to squeeze that orange and try to get as much juice out of that orange as you can. We're going to squeeze those lats hard on top, keeping the elbows drive in close to the body. This is going to focus primarily on lat thickness, not overall back thickness, but the lats themselves, that thickness. So if you want more of a V shape, you would do more of these type movements. Now, also because you're at a 60-degree angle here and not so much at a 90, the lower back kind of comes out of it. Your lower back is going to be holding you in position, and it's still going to be stabilizing you, but you're going to have less carryover to lower back strength when you focus on this. So that's the difference between a Yates row and a barbell row. Now, which one should you do? Like I said earlier, you should be doing both in your routine. Some weeks, maybe you go focus on a straight 90-degree barbell row where you're focusing on squeezing your upper back, and then some weeks you focus on a Yates row where you're focusing more on that V shape and getting more thickness out of the lats. But both have their place. One is not better than the other, and you should be incorporating both into your routine. The only thing I would say is, if you want to do them in the same workout, maybe start with barbell rows first at a 90-degree angle so your lower back is fresh and you're focusing on strengthening up the lower back. Then as you get tired, maybe cut your sets in half. So if you normally do 4 sets of this, do 2 sets, 90 degrees, and then do 2 sets at a Yates style where you're squeezing more of the lats where you can work your whole back. But I like interchanging the movements because it's just, again, you're just focusing on different things without too much of an overlap. So that's the difference between barbell rows and Yates rows. Which one is right for you? You're going to have to play with it and find out. Let me know in the comments which ones you prefer to do. And if you guys want to pick up any of my programs, the links are in the descriptions for that. This was Anthony, AB Fitness. I'll catch you on the next one.